Time now to talk business with our partners 2 Degrees. The Marlborough Sauvignon Blanc harvest has been a whopper this year, and that's set to cause some headaches, but not from drinking too much, of course. Garth Bray is here from BusinessDesk. Garth, good morning.
Good morning, Ryan.
So there's a bit of a wine glut.
You would say that, right? Okay, so this is the Marlborough harvest, which we're taking a look at that because some of the companies are reporting results and so on upcoming, and one smaller one's already put some detail out there, the Marlborough Grape Growers Cooperative, and it was saying market pricing's falling and that there are still yield caps in place. Basically, they grew too many grapes. So 31% up on the 2024 harvest, and that's about 17% up on the 7-year average. We're talking about 410,000 tonnes of grapes.
Lots of wine.
68, yeah, and
lots
too much wine.
And does that mean I get cheaper Sav?
Well, there might be some deals around, but obviously there's a bit of a hangover in there. COVID overstocks. A lot of the export markets stocked up a bit, and they're still sort of pushing down those inventories, so they're not buying in quite as much. So yeah, there might be a few deals around, but of course that means overall, their MPI's latest data on this suggesting that there'll be about a 1% drop in annual export revenues on this. So This is, largely this is a US story, I think, as well, because you're seeing a bit of softer consumer demand over there, a bit of less confidence, and also perhaps the US tariffs just biting a wee bit.
Yeah. Now, speaking of the US, you've been having a look at, well, there is some worries there about the wealth gap going on. Now, I Googled in the weekend, ChatGPT'd.
Did you?
When is the tipping point? Like when the wealthy get so wealthy that there's a revolution?
Right.
And it's
usually at the point where celebrity chefs are on TV, I think.
Well, we're long past that point. But it said, this is what AI tells us, and AI is all-knowing, it's God. It said not until 2080 something.
Right.
So we've got loads of time.
Loads of time.
But in the meantime, there is worry about that gap.
Yeah, there's worry, I guess, and this has come out of particularly the FT, Financial Times, has got a pretty prominent interview with John Williams, who's vice chair of that Federal Open Market Committee, the one that sets the rate, saying, hey, look, even though inflation is looking quite sticky at about 3, and some of the expectations dropped a little bit, long-term ones from 3.6 to 3.8 to 3.6, in some data over the weekend. But he's sort of laying out a case for a cut in December because of the gap between rich and poor, basically suggesting that there could be greater potential for a US downturn. And I guess there's been a lot of debate about some stats that popped up suggesting that 50% of the consumption in Q2 was by the top 10% of households. Some people are saying, oh, bollocks, there's no way that could be that high. It's probably only 35%. It's still a pretty big gap that you're putting a lot on the top, and that suggests that people at the bottom, the lower and moderate incomes, as William's saying, are really struggling.
Yeah.
So
well, the problem is that when you're on a lower income, you are only buying stuff you need, and you can defer the buying of the boat should you need to at the other end.
But you might be able to do it with a Trump $1 coin next year.
Oh, yes. Now, tell us about this.
A quick look at this, actually. Thanks. We've got this sort of whipped up. This popped up on X a wee while ago. Apparently, that is a draft for the commemorative 250th anniversary of America. $1 coin, which there is a law in America that says you're not allowed to put a living person's face on a dollar note. But if it's a $1 coin, different. So this has only been done once before, I think, when Coolidge, about 100 years ago, was the president, and they were at 150th anniversary, and they stuck his face on there.
So there is precedent.
There is precedent for president, but it's a little bit like, King Charles sticking your face on the money anyway. I mean, that's what they're doing.
Can we show that one more time? They have really laid the hair on thick in this, haven't they? Look at that. The one on the left.
The fight bit is the bit that gets me. So look, this popped up on X, and it was like, oh, is this for real? And a Treasury official said, yep, you wait, once the shutdown's over, we can take a look at this.
Hey, BusinessDesk is ranking our top executives. We've done the politicians with Mood of the Boardroom for the Herald, but BusinessDesk looking at the CEOs? Yeah,
looking at the top 20, we've worked this one out. So this is an AI-assisted project, looked at all the different ways that people model these kinds of things around the world. How do you pick who are the top people? It's not just about who's making money. There's lots of stuff in there like, their influence, their impact and so on. And used to create a bit of a system there, bit of editorial panel to get the long list for prominent business people to sort of sort that out to a final 20. And we're starting the profiles today. I think Miles Hurrell, no surprise, is in the mix there, head of Fonterra, and Robbie Paul from Icehouse Ventures. They are into everything space-based and the rest of it. Saw you running the SpaceX video a bit earlier.
Most importantly, Michael Boggs, who's the boss of this business, are you going to rank him in there? How awkward is that going to be for you?
I can't possibly comment at this point, Ryan. You'll just have to wait and see as that unfolds.
All right, Garth, good to see you as always. Garth Bray from Business Desk. Thanks to our partners, 2 Degrees.